Thanks for joining us for a GRN short. We're going to talk about a couple of things through this format that we think are interesting. But one of the most interesting things we heard repeated over and over again lately is the Ark of the Covenant's been found.
Yeah, I've heard that many times. I've seen so many TikTok and other short videos talking about how they found it. In fact, one guy claimed they found it over 40 years ago, and another guy claimed they found it yesterday.
So do they just keep losing it?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, if they found it, why is it still sitting where it is?
And, I do understand that maybe the Jewish people do know where the real Ark of the Covenant is, and they're keeping it hidden until that time. But it's really interesting to have all these fanciful claims. Like one guy even claimed he found blood on it and tested it.
Oh, yeah. I think that was Ron Wyatt.
Yeah.
And they found out later most of everything he did was a lie, more or less.
Yeah,
He just made things up or greatly exaggerated what he had found and saw.
Well, I think he said that he was digging under the place of Christ's crucifixion.
Well, where was that at?
That's a great. You got to start somewhere, right?
That's right.
So I think he claims he started at the Church of the Holy Sepulcher.
Really?
Which I don't know that I believe that. I think that we would have all known if he was digging there in 1982.
Yeah, I would too. But, my thing is, I don't even know if we know where Golgatha was. Now, there's a place that we like to visit when we're there in Israel, and it looks like a place of a skull. Is that truly the place of Golgatha, or do you know?
I would give that a grade level 2. A 1 is what we say we know that's the spot, like the Temple Mount. We know exactly where the Temple Mount is. I would say it's in the right location.
Outside the city.
It's very close. It's outside the city.
Yep.
If you're standing on the second wall, which would have been the time of Christ,
Right.
looking out from the city, it does look like a skull.
Yes.
And it was known as a place of execution. It was known as a place where the highway or the busy roads would have met, like the road to Damascus, because it's right outside the Damascus gate.
Because it was public execution,
Yeah.
and the Romans were trying to dissuade people from breaking the law.
Yeah.
So they're doing that out for people to see.
So I think that Ron Wyatt said he was in the Church of Sepulcher, but I don't know. I think that the idea that the Church of the Holy Sepulcher is the end all be all of the crucifixion is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it's funny. We went there and saw that back when I was last time I went to Israel, and it's all made out of wood, if I remember right.
Well, it's so. Here's the thing that most people don't know about the Holy Sepulcher. They think that everything from crucifixion is in the Holy Sepulcher, as in the Calvary, the mountain, the place where they prepped his body, and then the place where they buried his body. So when you walk in the Holy Sepulcher, you walk in the front door, and right to the right is like a ladder, and you climb the ladder up to the top of Golgotha, and you're supposedly on a mountaintop. Well, you're inside this building,
right? And
then there's a little plexiglass screen that shows a crack. They say, see, the mountain cracked when the crucifixion happened. And then if you go to the edge of the platform and look over, you'll see a flat stone that's really, really polished. And it's polished because people have been rubbing their idols and things on it and kissing it for many, many years. Right. And then just around the corner from there is the tomb. But the tomb is out in the wide open, and there's only a little piece of it left. And I say, well, what happened? They said, well, people have chipped away at it and taken the tomb with them. They moved an entire mountain? Herod's the only one I know that moved a mountain. So I don't think you could put all of that in that location. I just don't think. And the second wall, to have the Church of the Holy Sepulcher be outside of the second wall would have had to make a weird turn that it makes nowhere else. Everywhere else is a nice straight wall. This one, for it to be outside of the city where a body would be buried, the city wall has to be made funky to actually happen.
Yeah, it's hard for me to think that the Holy Sepulcher would be the place, because it seems like our Catholic friends seem to make relics out of anything and everything. Yeah. And I know Diana, the wife of...
No, Helena, his mother.
Helena. Yeah.
Helena.
His mother came out and identified a bunch of relics and a bunch of places where things happened. And I think she just made stuff up. There's several times we've proven that she was wrong.
Well, she came along 300 years later, went off of what people would tell her is the traditional place or whatnot, and she probably also went off what places can we own.
Yeah. True.
What places can we own? Like there's one Dominus Flavit I can remember. It's halfway down the Mount of Olives. They claim that's the exact spot where Jesus wept, as it were, or sweated, as it were, great drops of blood.
Right.
And so I say, well, how do you know that? Well, this is just where we were told.
Yeah.
And we own the property, by the way. And make a donation while you're here. Yeah. So I see that a lot. But the one thing that this Ron Wyatt, I mean, and I think he's done more to dissuade people from Christian belief than anything, because he's lied about so much.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. But he said that he found blood on the Ark of the Covenant, and he scraped it off and took it to a lab, and the blood was found to be living still.
Yes. Yeah, and if I remember right, it only had one set of chromosomes. Most people have XX or XY. This had X and then 1.
Yeah.
Just one more chromosome. So, most of the time it's 23.
Yep.
But this one only had half.
So where is that blood now? Can we look at it again?
I don't know. I would like to see that report. I'd like to talk to the lab. You figured the lab that ran this would put this in some type of book, medical book, living blood found.
Yeah. Well, what can you expect from a guy who's being so sensational just to sell books and make donations? The other thing I think he says is that the blood dripped down onto the mercy seat. Now, here's what I want to understand is that the tabernacle is a shadow of things to come. It's a shadow of the temple in heaven. It's a shadow of the mercy seat in heaven. It's a shadow of everything heavenly.
Exactly.
And Jesus went to the tabernacle that's not built with hands.
Yep.
So I don't think his blood needed to be on the mercy seat of the
Not at
Ark
all,
of the Covenant here.
They sprinkle the blood of the lambs. And remember, a lamb could be a baby sheep or a baby goat. They called both lambs.
Yeah.
And when they sacrificed the lamb, they put that blood on the mercy seat to see if God would accept it.
Sure.
But that's not the mercy seat.
Yeah.
That was just a foreshadow, a picture of, and
representation.
And so I think that Jesus submitted the blood to the actual mercy seat
in heaven,
which was God in heaven.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Well, there's a lot of things going around. I know that we've been to the Temple Institute a few times. We've seen their replica of the Ark of the Covenant.
Yep.
And then just recently another replica, or could be considered good enough to use, was made. It took 3.5 years with 71 people or something like that to build and construct. The interesting thing is that the carrying staves are in two different directions by both. One has it going the length way, like if this was the Ark of the Covenant.
Right.
One has them going this way. Right. The other has them going this way.
Really?
And I think the ones that go different than the length, they're on the shorter end, I think is right. But I couldn't guarantee that. I'd have to study that out.
Yeah, I'd have to look at that too. I do know that I find it interesting. It took them 3 years to construct that. And I think it took less time in the Bible, but it also says that God imbued those men that built those things with the ability to do that.
Yeah. Well, you'd think with our technology, it wouldn't take them so long. I can tell you right now, after sitting around talking with rabbis, it took longer to discuss how to build it than it did to build it.
That's for sure. I don't know how many times I've talked to a rabbi and they get so far off in the left field on anything and everything, and it amazes me they can get anything done.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us for this short discussion on GRN, and we'll be back with more of these.